Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Leorah and I help individuals like yourself to discover and reveal their light within. I want to share with you guys the gift that we have this week. We are now in the first week of Sagittarius. I'm sure you can feel the energy shift. We are now in a fire element coming from Scorpion energy, from the water element. We're now in a fire element. And this fire element gives us the energy to get things done, to motivates us to create. And this week, we have a special energy that helps us to change our perspective. So our perspective is actually how we feel our reality, actually how we perceive our reality. And our perception is the only thing that matters. This week, the Bible story is about Jacob going out of his homeland and going towards basically negativity. He is in his homeland where it's positivity, it's spirituality, it's harmony, it's just everything, his abundance, financial, spiritual abundance. He's just in the land of abundance. And he decides to leave everything behind. Although he's on a very high spiritual level, he decides to leave everything behind because he wants to go to his next level. So he's proactive in his transformation, which is extremely important because we have to transform. Everything is always changing. Everything. And when we proactively transform and make things change in our life, then we avoid chaos. The universe brings chaos into our lives and pain and suffering so that we are forced to change. But we don't have to be reactive. That's reactive transformation. We can also have proactive transformation where I wake up every morning and say, okay, I'm ready for this day. I'm ready to change and let go of that egoistic quality that I need to let go of today. Whatever's on the plan, universe, just let me know. I'm ready to proactively go at it. Put it in my way, and I will deal with it. I will accept it and deal with it. And so that's what Jacob did. Jacob said, okay, I know I'm spiritually at this level, but it's time for me to grow. So he had to leave his family. He had to leave that place behind him and go to a new place which was symbolic for negativity, darkness. And he found his soulmate. He found his other half there because he proactively went towards it. And the darkness that we find in our life, the times where we can't see how this could work out for good, that we can't see why this is even in our life, those are the times where we have a chance to transform. It's all about our perspective. So Jacob actually went towards this and said, I'm going to accept this negativity. I'm going to accept this these challenges, and not just accept them, but embrace them. And so the Bible tells us that his time going to find his soulmate actually led him to the most evil man on earth at that time. And it was Laban. It was his soon-to-be father-in-law. What a joy, And so he went to Laban and said, I want to marry your daughter Rachel. And Laban said, okay, work for me for 7 years. And this whole time, Laban just wanted to destroy Jacob. He was an evil man, and all he wanted to do is rule over him, enslave him. All he wanted to do is hurt him. And so he said, okay, work for me for 7 years, and I'll give you my daughter Rachel. And the Bible said that the 7 years, you have to imagine you're in somebody's house where they just have evil intentions for you 24 hours a day. And 7 years he had to be there. And the Bible tells us that these 7 years were as if it was only 7 days. And so the Bible, we read it not to remember a story or to for religious reasons, we read it to see, what does this have to do with me? The Bible gives us hints on how we're supposed to live our lives and what's possible. So we have to look at ourselves and say, okay, how is it that the 7 years of torture it felt like 7 days to him? How can I use that in my life? It has to do with our perspective. We have a challenge in our life. And the moment we have a challenge in our life, we have to know, what is the challenge there for? Why do we have challenges in our life? Is it just to torture us all the time, or what? I mean, what is it there for? How many times can you look back in your life? How many events happened? Maybe a relationship came to an end, or you had to move, or you had to get a new job, or you had some kind of loss or some kind of chaos happen, which you found torturous at the time, and you found it was negative, and why me, and all those kind of things. But then looking back, you're like, oh, thank God. Thank God I didn't stay with that partner. Thank God I got out of that job. Thank God I moved at that time I moved, because everything worked out to your benefit. So if we know that from hindsight, if we can look back and see that, then what's preventing us from, when we're in that moment, from knowing with certainty that this too will work out for my greatest good. This too will help me transform and grow. This too will bring me to my next level. And that's the secret of what Jacob did. He embraced his challenges. He actually went towards them, the negativity. He went towards it to embrace it, to say, yes, I am ready for my next level. I know I'm comfortable. I know I'm blessed. I know everything's good, but I'm ready to go to my next level. Because there's where my soulmate is. There's where my abundance is. There's where my freedom is. What are we willing to do to go to our next level? What are we willing to bring from our side of it? Basically, life happens all around us. How do we perceive it? Are we reacting, being reactive to everything that happens around us? Or are we proactive? Situation comes into your life. Thank you. What a pleasure. Okay. Lost my job. What a pleasure. And you go straight into, I know that there must be something better out there for me. I know that this means I am stretching my certainty, because we can only stretch our certainty, our trust in the Creator, when we're in these situations of uncertainty, where we can't see how we're going to pay the bills, where we can't see where our next meal is going to come from, where we can't see if you're ever going to meet somebody and fall in love and have a family. It's where, in those times where you can't see, but we only see a glimpse of the entire picture. There are factors that are there that we don't see yet, because they haven't entered into our range of vision yet. And so we have to realize that we have to have certainty. We have to change our perspective. We don't want it to draw out for 7 years. And I tell you guys, I promise you, you alone decide how long this challenge is going to happen to you, or happen around you, or be in your picture, in your life. You alone decide how long it's going to take. Do you want it to go on for 7 years? Or do you want it to go on for 7 days? You alone decide. And it's all, your decision is based on your certainty, your level of certainty in this situation, your level of acceptance of this situation. So what does that practically look like? Practically, I come into a situation. My mind, of course, is going to go negative. My mind, of course, is going to tell me, oh my God, this is awful. How could this be happening? And everything. No, I stop. Thank you. What for a pleasure. I go to my affirmation, to my belief system, which we should all have. Thank you for this situation. This is only there for my transformation, for my highest good. This is there because I wrote it into my plan together with the Creator because we are co-creators. That means nothing is done ever to us. Nothing is done by anybody to us. Nobody else has control over us unless you give them the control. And if you want to stand in your power, if you want to stand in your knowing that you write your own story, and there's a reason why you write it. And I'm going to tell you guys, you know, I've met with people and they tell me, well, it just doesn't make sense. You know, this is so unjust, what's happening to me right now. And because they're resisting it, their pain and suffering just goes on and on and on. And the true fact is, I mean, we must feel it. We must know that this is not the first time we've been in this world. This is not our first incarnation. I mean, okay, that's the basis of it all. So if something is happening in my life, then that means it is just. In some way or form, I sowed that in maybe a past life, and now it's coming back to me. But it's coming back with mercy. Especially if you are consciously going and doing good deeds in this world and bringing light consciously to this world, to others. You're giving, you help others, you do good deeds all the time. Then you are paying into your account, your spiritual account. It is coming to a bigger and larger positive number. So that is taken into account when we reap something that we sowed in the past to the present. We have to reap it. But I'm telling you, it can be reaped with mercy or it can be reaped in its full amount. That's up to you. What do you do to change the world? What do you do to change your life? What do you do? Are you proactive or are you reactive constantly? Are you being led by your ego or are you being led by your soul? Listening to that small voice within you. Are you working on yourself? Are you looking at what's there and what needs to be transformed? Have you had your astrological chart read? Not to say, well, this is what you're damned to, sorry, good luck to you. That's not what Kabbalistic astrology is. Kabbalistic astrology is, this is the energy I've come into this world with. This is my, the things I am supposed to change and transform in my life. And you are supposed to rewrite your birth chart, basically. You are supposed to rewrite your story. And only you can rewrite your story. So if you are proactively rewriting your story, then you are paying into that account of good deeds. You're going against your nature. We are in the month of Sagittarius, Kislev, and this month is all about creating miracles. How do we create miracles? How was the Red Sea parted? What is a miracle? By definition, a miracle is something that goes against nature. So, I mean, the Red Sea, when it was parted and stood up on both sides, that's not the way water usually acts, okay? I don't know where you guys are from, but where I'm from, that's not what water usually does. So it was an act that was not natural, okay? And when we go against our nature, our natural nature is our ego. And when we go against our ego and we decide to pause, not to be reactive, then we can create miracles in our life and in the lives of our family and the lives of our friends and our associates, okay? We create miracles in this world. We bring light into this world. The more and more we change, the more and more we develop ourselves and we come into our authentic higher self, that is when we change the world and we bring light into this world. So our perspective is extremely important. How do you perceive things? How do you perceive things when you go through a situation, when you're in something that you just don't like? Are you just trying to get rid of the situation? I mean, that is the world we live in today. You know, I have a headache, pop a pill. I've got this and this problem, pop that pill. You know, we're just trying to make things go away instead of saying, okay, thank you, headache, that you're there. What are you there to show me? Thank you, situation, that you're there. What are you there to show me? And then you know, later you can deal with the situation another way, but first you have to accept it and spiritually accept it and say, okay, It's here to show me something. It has place. I'm giving you space to be here. I'm allowing you to be here. I'm not resisting you. I'm allowing you to be here because you're here to show me something. So reveal it to me now. I accept it. I'm thankful for it. And when you do this, you change your mind, your thoughts towards this. You change your feelings towards this. Then you take your challenges, which would last 7 years, and it will come to you guys as if it was only 7 days. But our focus is finding what the universe has for us. It's kind of like getting a package that's all wrapped up. And slowly we unwrap this package, and then we find the light. And within this time, we grow in our certainty. We grow in our trust. And that's what we need to go to our next level. So I encourage all of you guys, not just this week, but every week for the rest of your life, change your perspective. Embrace your challenges and level up.